Hello, welcome to part 12 of my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. In our previous episode, Link entered Gargoyle's domain. He found the Titan's Mitt, which lets him lift any heavy object that's possible to lift in the game. He also fought blind and recovered the fourth of 7 maidens imprisoned in the Dark World by the wizard Ganem. So, in this episode, Link is ready to head to the Ice Palace in the Dark World. And the Ice Palace is located in the Dark World's equivalent of Lake Hylia. We've been very close to it in the past. We just ignored this heavy rock right here. Now that we have the Titan's Mitt, we can actually lift this heavy rock and expose a transporter to the Dark World. This transporter will bring us within the walls of the Ice Palace, and we can enter and see what's going on. So there is a picket here that will try to steal our supplies. We can take it out fairly quickly using the tempered sword that we got in our last episode. We upgraded the strength of the Master Sword, so now it does 3 times as much damage as the Fighter Sword did at the beginning of the game. Okay, inside the Ice Palace, as you might imagine, things are pretty weak to fire. We got the fire rod in Skull Woods, so let's equip the fire rod. And you're going to see an enemy here trapped in the wall. These are called Freezors. So you'll get close and they will bust out of the wall and come chase Link down. But they're very vulnerable to fire and melt immediately. Someone lets us know that fire will help us in the ice dungeon. Okay, so in this first area, we have a free berry. One quick spin attack took care of all 3 of those. We found the key, and we will head downstairs. Exposed on the floor underneath Link's feet are 2 green souls. We'll hit the switch to open the door, and we have a new block sliding puzzle. We'll push the block the first time to head through the south door and see these new enemies called Pengators. They're like penguins. They like to slide on the ice, except they have very sharp teeth like an alligator. Hence the name, Pengator. In this first treasure chest, we find the dungeon's compass that will show us where all the treasure chests are if we need to see it. We'll push the block up, hit the switch, and head through the right door this time. There are a few more Pengators here, but there's also a bubble, and I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to restore my health. Once the bubble comes close enough, I should be able to turn it into a fairy, and very quickly there, you couldn't really see it. I managed to turn it into a fairy and grab it. So that yellow beam came after me, that's called the rabbit beam. It will turn me into a rabbit. It negates the power of the Moon Pearl. Now there's a treasure chest on the other side of these walls, but try as we might, Link cannot push through those pots, and can't push the blocks anyway, so we'll have to come back. So we'll head back through, coming at it from another direction. We can push the block and head through the north door. We've got a couple red berry here, so we have to watch for them to not be electrified, and try to take them out when we have the chance. We'll hit the crystal switch to make it to the other side of the wall here. And we see that the orange blocks are up, and the blue blocks are down. In order to make it past these orange blocks, we will need to delay hitting the crystal switch. So I'll drop a bomb on it, head across, and the orange blocks will drop while we're on the other side of the blue blocks. This is a crack in the floor, very placed in the middle of the room very conspicuously. If you drop a bomb on this crack in the floor, you're able to fall to the floor below. Here we will see a new enemy called the Stalfos Knight, and you can slash it with your sword. It'll fall apart, but we cannot destroy the Stalfos Knight, is the official name, with the sword alone. When he collapses, he's vulnerable to another weapon. So sure enough, after a minute, he'll wake back up. But if you drop a bomb on his bones whenever they're broken apart, it will defeat the Stalfos Knight. So that'll clear the room, and we can head south. We've got a new enemy here that runs back and forth between these little holes in the floor. I believe they're called Babasu. And this may be the only place you see them. I cannot recall seeing them in another dungeon. So we've got a new crystal switch here. And we want to be careful not to hit that crystal switch. If we do, we can always hit it again, but we just don't need to hit it. So we'll use the key we got, head through this door, and the orange blocks are down. We can make it past them. And we're going to want to head past that firewall whenever it's past us. Hit the switch to go through the door. There will be a few Zol here on the floor. I'm going to charge through and take them out quickly. If you need to go back for some reason, you can hit the switch on the floor right here beside the pot. But we're going to go ahead and go downstairs. So a squadron of Pengators are coming at us, and sure enough, Link's spin attack can take out most of them in one go. So this is just a trap in the dungeon. If you get close to it in its path, it will lunge at you. I'm going to head through the door behind it, and there are a few Medusa statues here. Really, there's nothing in those pots. It's basically a trap to the floor below. The person on the other end of the telepathy tile lets us know. Be careful and conserve our magic. So I'm going to check out the rest of this floor later. We'll be back to this one, I guarantee it. There's nothing else in the pots in the room above that we need to see, so I'm not going to check out the rest of the pots. The Bombos medallion is a very handy tool for this room because the red berry split into those two pieces. So we even got a magic pot back to restore our magic. The hookshot will let us across that gap, avoid the traps, and we want to head back upstairs. So, we have a bit of a problem here. There's a nail pit, but we have the hookshot that should let us across the nail pit. There is a crack in the wall here. You can hit it with your sword. It's not hollow, and it will not blow up if you drop a bomb there. Underneath this pot is a switch. We can use the hookshot to make it back across. We've got a key. We'll open the door, and this takes us back to the same room we were in before. But I'm going to go ahead and activate the trap, head across, and we'll check out this room. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and let's check out the other side of that nail pit room first. Should save a little bit of time. We will head across and go upstairs. Here we have a couple moles guarding the block there. If you use a magic hammer, you can hit those moles. Underneath this block is a rabbit beam and a key. Avoid the rabbit beam. Take out the Stalfos Knight. Underneath this bottom pot is a switch that exposes that treasure chest over there. Also, there's a door here. Opening the treasure chest shows you the dungeon map, but it doesn't open the door. The way to open that door is to find this statue here that doesn't seem to belong and pull on its tongue. The door closes behind you, but you can do the same thing. Pull on the statue's tongue, and it will let you through the door. So now we are on the other side of this wall that we couldn't get to before. And inside this treasure chest is a big key. So it saves us a little bit of backtracking to pick up the big key first. We need to head back downstairs, and we are going to go to the other side of that four-way room with the big orange-brown trap this time. So we'll activate the trap, head across, and we're going to go left this time and actually go down the stairs. Watch out for the fire wall there. It's difficult to run on the ice here. You can see that the floor kind of sparkles a little bit. It's ice, Link slips when he walks around, but he can eventually get to where he needs to go. So take out the freezers that are in the north wall here, and the treasure chest appears containing some bombs. Just, if you didn't get the hint enough that these floors are cracked, you can see that there is a spot you can drop down over here, but you'll save some time now that we have the big key if you bomb this crack in the floor. This will let us drop down one more level on the other side of the wall containing the big chest, and inside Link finds the blue mail. It reduces the damage you take from enemies. So now Link has a killer blue tunic and a yellow hat that accents his pink hair quite nicely. So before we go through this door right here, I'm going to explore a little bit to the right. We've got another room here containing a bubble, and I timed it just right. And I took out the bubble. We've got a couple more Babasu. And if the skull pot isn't in the way, I can take out the Babasu without too much trouble. Okay, that should do it. Now we've got the door to the south opened up, so let's go through there. Actually, we'll be back through there. So I'm going to go ahead and try not to worry about the bubble getting hit, but let's go through this door first. We've got the big key, and that lets us through that door. Don't worry about the red berry here. Try to hit these when they aren't electrified. And we have the key to let us go downstairs. Now you see those holes in the floor are positioned directly above those pots, just like in the earlier dungeons. We have a transporter there, an end tile for the transporter, so we'll have to come back once we load those blue blocks that are guarding those holes. But there's nothing we can do for this room. We've got a switch, and it's a pressure switch, meaning that something has to stand on top of it in order to activate that door. So that's one that we just can't do anything with for the time being. Let's use the key on this door, and inside we find a crystal switch with a rabbit beam underneath. Avoid the rabbit beam. We'll check out the rest of these pots. Nothing we can do here so far, so let's go ahead and head back upstairs. We can now fall down one of these holes into the pots below. If you are low on fairies, this is a good idea. Low on fairies, low on health. There are 3 fairies in this room, no enemies. If you need one, go ahead and fill your bottles. We're good, we don't need anything. So step on the transporter when you're ready, and we will head back upstairs. Now you can see that the blue blocks are now down and out of the way. You can push one of the blue blocks, but it drops into the room below with the pressure switch, but the blocks can only be moved one time. And it turns out that that pressure switch is in the middle of the room, and this block is just too far away, so I won't bother dropping down the hole. We need to get to the other side and push down one of those other blocks. So what I will do is I will go around, because if you drop the crystal switch, the blue wall drop the orange wall so that you can make it across to the other side, the blue wall will come up. So what you have to do is you have to go all the way around and get on the other side of that orange wall with the blue blocks down. In this treasure chest, we'll find another key. And we'll go back upstairs. Avoid the rabbit beam. Take out the green Zol. There are a number of them in this room. Freezor will ambush you. One more Zol to take care of. And we'll go through this door. This takes us into the bottom of the room I said we would visit before. So we don't actually have to save some time by saying we'll come back and check it out later. The switch will open the door to the left. So before we proceed, we'll go ahead and explore this room. See, it brings you to the other side of this room above the big chest. No reason to go through that hole. It's basically just a waste of time. So, make your way as best as you can around the fire. Try not to hit the spikes or the fire. And we're going to want to go across, get the hook shot out, but first you can use the Bombos medallion to clear all these enemies out really quickly. Just a lot less hassle than trying to take out the berry and then its two pieces. And it doesn't use that much magic once you've halved your magic meter. Activate the traps. Make your way past them safely. And we'll head back upstairs. A couple blue berries here, but we're pretty close to making it back to where we were before. I think I got a little sidetracked, actually. In fact, I did. I was just showing you the rest of the dungeon, and I did get sidetracked. So now we actually do want to drop down that room. I said it was pointless to drop down there, but it's kind of where we want to go right now. Drop down this hole. If you bomb the wall, bomb the floor and drop down, it's just more blocks you have to push. But now we're on the other side of these orange blocks. The blue blocks are still down. Take out the Freezor, and now we can push this block into the floor below. Follow it down. All the enemies are going to be back, so make sure you take them out so you can focus on pushing the block. There we go. Now we can push the block, and we'll take out the Stalfos Knight just for good measure. We have plenty of bombs and arrows, and he dropped 8, I think? 8 bombs? Okay, this room has a couple enemies in it, and it has more than you see, honestly. Beneath this silver block is a bit of an ambush. There are 4 more blue berries underneath, and you get hit when you pick it up. I'll use the magic hammer, hit the moles there, whack the moles. And these statues are blocking you from getting to the moles in that other block, but you can grab them and pull them out of the way, just like in the earlier Zelda dungeons. Smack the moles. When you lift this block, a hole will appear, and make sure when you drop down this hole that you're ready to drop down this hole, because this will be the boss's lair. Here we have Cold Stare, kind of like a bubble eye encased in ice. Like other things in this dungeon, it is very weak to fire. So using the fire rod, you can hit it a number of times and break its ice shield. So it breaks into 3 pieces and heads around the room like Mola did in the Desert Palace. Spin attacks are pretty effective against it. Once you take out 1 piece, there will only be 2 left. But be very careful, because touching this enemy will take out a lot of hearts. So keep a good eye on your health, and be very careful. Once it's down to one piece, the ice will drop from the ceiling a lot faster and spread a lot farther. But you should be able to take it out if you're careful, and grab the heart container and retrieve the 5th crystal. So hopefully we'll hear a little bit more of the legend. They say the Hylia people control mysterious powers, as did the 7 wise men. But the blood of the Hylia has become thin over time. We who carry the blood of the 7 wise men do not possess strong power anymore either. Our powers will increase if we mix the courage of the knights with the wisdom of the wise men. Only a short time remains until the gate at the castle linking the worlds opens completely. If you defeat Ganon, this world will vanish and the Triforce will wait for a new holder. She believes in us, wishes us good luck. Yes, I understand. Okay, Link has fancy new duds and a new heart container that should serve us pretty well as we continue along our path. Thanks for watching this episode of my Let's Play. Tune in next time as we explore the rest of the Dark World. Hopefully find some new heart containers and find some new tools. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time.